सोच में सकारात्मकता लाएं, जीवन को बेहतर बनाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। मनोदर्पण पर कॉल लगाएं, मनोबल अपना और बढ़ाएं। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। चलो आज ही प्रण ले हम, मानसिक स्वास्थ्य सुधारे हम। मनोदर्पण के काउंसलर से परामर्श पाने के लिए डायल करें टोल फ्री नंबर 844-844-0632। नंबर एक बार फिर सुने 844-844-0632।
Namaskar and a very warm welcome to all the viewers in today's live and interactive session of Sahyog. My name is Rajan Rajput and here we are joined by sign language interpreter Ms. Neetu. Neetu, warm welcome. You all are watching this Sahyog session on PM Avidya channel number 6 to channel number 12 along with on our official YouTube handles. These are NCERT official and NCERT PM Avidya class 6 to class 12 YouTube channels. So let me give you a prize about Sahyog. Our Sahyog and Paricharcha sessions are brought to you by Manodarpan under the initiative of Ministry of Education in the roof of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and as a part of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan for psychosocial support and mental well-being of students, teachers, parents as well. In today's Sahyog session, we are going to discuss another important topic, and topic for today is understanding suicidality in adolescence and early intervention strategies. So this is the topic for today, and if you have any query or doubt regarding this topic. So understanding suicidality in adolescence and early intervention strategies. This is going to be very important session. So, if you have any query and doubt regarding this topic or you want to know more about this subject, so we have various medium to connect with us. If you need any kind of help, you may contact Manodarpan counselor's number and the number is flashing on your screen. Number is 844-844-0632. You can also make a call on our IVRS number, that is 8800-440-559. You may drop your email on the ID sahyog.ncert@cret.nic.in. And the viewers who are connected with the official YouTube channel, so live chat box option is there to drop your comment and queries. Time to meet our esteemed guest of panelist. We are joined by Professor Kalpana Venugopal from RIE NCERT Mysuru. Ma'am, namaskar and a very warm welcome.
Namaskar.
And we also want to welcome Dr. Bharti Kulshekhara, practicing counselor is with us. Ma'am, namaskar and a very warm
Namaste,
welcome. So, time to know about this concept of what is suicidality. So, Professor Kalpana, please proceed.
Yeah, can you please change the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Today we are going to talk about this very important topic, suicidality. Many of us must have heard of this word suicide.
Yes.
And all of us have got different connotations about it, especially adolescence, because that's the stage where it seems to be quite rampant all over the world and even in our country. So when you're talking about what is suicidality, it is actually a mental health term. That means it's got something to do with our mental health, where we are thinking about this particular aspect of suicidality, and it refers to suicide related thoughts and behaviors. That means we may be thinking about suicide or something may trigger us to start thinking about suicide, and we may show certain behaviors which are prone for suicide. And usually this term is used by professionals like Dr. Bharti, who's a professional over here, to understand the risk and to provide support for us. So this is a very important topic today that we have taken up, because we know that many youngsters are going through this kind of thoughts, and there are certain behaviors which put them to risk, and how we can support them with respect to this. What suicidality can include, that means what all does it include? If we know what it includes, we are able to define it very clearly, and we know and we can check whether we have these kind of tendencies. One, the thoughts about wanting to die. That means we don't want to live anymore. We are having such kind of thoughts. We don't want to exist anymore. There's something that is so painful that is causing us to think that we want to end our life. Sometimes it can be merely thoughts. Sometimes it could be some kind of planning to harm ourselves. So this is also suicidality. That means there is a tendency towards ending our life. These behaviors which are related to harming ourselves by various ways. Dr. Bharti will be dealing about it in detail with us. And it is also interesting that the way we look at it, the way we exhibit these behaviors or thoughts are very different for different people. All don't have the same kind of thoughts or the same kind of planning. Each one may want to do it in a different way. So this is what we'll be looking at today. The next slide, please. What is very important for all of us? First of all, having suicidality does not mean that someone will act on it. The very thought of it doesn't mean that somebody will, suicide themselves. But then knowing about these thoughts is very important, because then we can check, we can also try to see how we can overcome this kind of thinking. That is why we are discussing this topic today. And there are many people experiencing these thoughts, and it is very good to know that everybody can get help. We have people, such good counselors, and we have programs like Sahyog. So we can easily overcome this. All the adolescents, all the adults can easily help each other to overcome it. So we can get the right kind of support and treatment. And once the right kind of support comes, it makes a big difference, because then you will realize that you can do away with these kind of terms. And this term is largely used by professionals, to assess how safe we are, what kind of thinking, what kind of help and support can be given. And please understand that this help is not to make any judgment about the individual. The counselors are so trained. You would have seen the first slide. Dr. Bharti, she's an MS and PhD in counseling. So they know how to deal with it. They know how to help us out with these thoughts and these behaviors. And it is not for making any judgment. It is kept very, very personal, and they follow certain ethical principles. So that is why this topic is very important for all the adolescents and the adults, teachers, and other stakeholders who are watching this program, so that today we understand what kind of help we can get, and to understand our own thoughts about this important aspect, suicidality. And so now I am really happy to have Dr. Bharti, my colleague over here. She will take us through more deeper into this important topic. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Bharti.
So much, ma'am, and your words are really insightful. And in today's Sahyog session, we have a topic, understanding suicidality in adolescence and early intervention strategies. So, Dr. Bharti Kulshekhara, we want to know what is its significance with reference to adolescence.
Yeah, this is a very significant issue as far as adolescent mental health is concerned, because it is a very, very important developmental stage with unique vulnerabilities. Each one will have different kind of vulnerability, and suicidality at this age is both a serious health concern and a strong signal that the adolescent needs support. And these are the reasons. It could be, the significant reasons could be like adolescence is a high risk period. We all know the brain is still developing, especially the areas involved in emotional regulation, impulse control, and decision making. This can make them more likely to experience intense emotions and act quickly when distressed when compared to the adults. And it is not only suicidality that is expressed. There could be underlying depression or anxiety, the academic pressure, which is very common nowadays, and fear of failure, fear of rejection, bullying in schools, and family conflicts. And the adolescents, if they are from broken families, they are more prone to this kind of thought process. And then that is why it is clearly said it is a warning sign, not a character flaw or attention-seeking behavior. Most of the time we think it goes with the age, and it will disappear once they cross the adolescent age, which is not true. It is a warning sign clearly. And one more significant aspect is it can affect the development and functioning of the individual. These suicidal thoughts can interfere with school performance. It can interfere with relationships with friends and family. Definitely, it will bring down the self-esteem and identity formation. Even when no actions occur, persistent distress can have long-term effect on the mental health. And then one more important thing is the early identification can save lives. Adolescents often do not openly ask for help. So recognizing suicidality means early mental health intervention, support from family, school, and professional, and prevention from escalation into dangerous situation. That is very important. Definitely, it is preventable with the right support. That is why we say this early intervention is very significant. Most adolescents who experience suicidality don't want to die. I just want to underline that. They want the pain to stop what they're going through. With timely support, therapy, and understanding, adults' recovery is very much possible with each and every adolescent. So it highlights the role of schools and families. That is also one more significant aspect, because adolescents spend much more time at schools than home. So awareness among teachers, parents and guardians, school counselors becomes very critical for noticing changes in their behavior and responding immediately and appropriately. So in summary, what I would like to say is suicidality in adolescents is very much significant because it signals serious emotional distress during a sensitive stage of development. But it is also highly responsive to support, care, and early intervention.
And I have some another important question for you, Dr. Bharti. Ma'am, what are the multiple key risk factor involved in adolescence in adolescence in suicidality actually?
Yes, it's a very crucial question because adolescent suicidality is multifactorial. It means it usually develops from a combination of so many factors, not just one cause. These factors could often interact and build up over a time of period. Then it could be psychological. You can change the slide. And it could be mental health factors, like as I told you earlier, depression and anxiety could be the major reasons. That is one factor affects the mental health of adolescents. Feelings of hopelessness and worthlessness, because a student, an adolescent is always judged on the basis of the performance in their academic field. If they don't do well, they feel they're worthless. And then difficulty regulating emotions and a low self-esteem, impulsivity. This one aspect of the problem. The biological reasons could be the genetic vulnerability to mood disorders, which they have carried it from their parents. Brain development changes affecting judgment and emotional control. It is very much biological. Hormonal changes during puberty, which is very much essential, but they do interact with body chemicals, and because of that emotional irregulation happens. Family factors could contribute a lot because of poor communication. They might be from battered families, lack of emotional support because of the conflict. Parental mental health issues will also contribute a lot to the adolescent mental health issue. And then abuse, which has become very common nowadays, neglect or consistent caregiving is not there. And then high expectations or pressure at home. All these could be contributed from the family side to an adolescent's mental health. And when we come to social and peer factors, we all know peer influence is very crucial and as well as very important for an adolescent development. Bullying, including cyberbullying. Nowadays, the children, the adolescents are more exposed to gadgets. So bullying even happens online. And the adolescents don't want to share it with anybody. Maybe it is because of shame or fear. And then social isolation and rejection for some reason. And then difficulty forming or maintaining a relationship, peer pressure, peer influence, and then relationship stress. They might get into an affair. Friendships or early romantic relationships are possible during adolescence. So these are all factors. They stem out from social and peer situations. When it comes to academic and school related factors, whatever I say, that will be less, because academic stress or fear of failure, it will be there. I would say, according to the statistics, it will be there nearly 6 out of 10 adolescents. And then exam pressure is too much, poor school engagement, conflict with teachers and school authorities. And then when we come to environmental and life stresses, exposures to trauma are major life changes, losing one parent, and then experiencing near and close one's death. We call it as loss, such as death of a loved one, and then family breakdown, economic stress or instability. These are all contribute a lot. We can call it as environmental and life stresses. And when we come to the cultural and societal factors, stigma around mental health and help seeking. Even now, adolescents think that if they go to a counselor or to a psychologist, there is something seriously wrong with their mental health. Most of the time, it is for the sake of guidance. Parents and the adolescents should be able to understand that, seeking for help is not shame. It is actually a brave act. The adolescents who are really brave will try to find a solution for their problem. So if at all you notice all this, especially adolescents and adolescent parents, please try to contact the professionals with this regard. And unrealistic societal and social media expectations will be there. Discrimination or marginalization will be there. Pressure to meet culture and gender norms especially will also affect the mental health of an adolescent. And then when we come to protective factors, there will be lacking in that. Limited access to trusted adults. Adolescents will not be able to share their problem with anybody. Maybe how they are received, how the problem is perceived, they are not very confident. And then poor coping skills in their personality, and then lack of supportive friendships in their environment, and then limited access to mental health services. Nowadays, it is mandatory to have a counselor in a school environment. Sometimes it may be there, it may not be there. So when there is no access to any professional, the adolescent becomes very helpless and they take impulsive actions. So the key point here is adolescent suicidality usually reflects overwhelming distress combined with limited coping resources, not a desire to die, as Kalpana madam has mentioned in the beginning. They don't want to die, but the presence of protective factors, supportive relationships, coping skills, and access to help can definitely reduce the risk.
Yes, ma'am. And really want to appreciate the description we get from you is definitely very useful for all the viewers and especially for the adolescents. So, Dr. Bharti, what are the effective early intervention strategies we can say and comprehensive approaches to avoid suicide in adolescents?
Yes, it is very, very important, because early intervention gives maximum result, avoids maximum damage to the individual's life. So preventing suicide in adolescents works best when early interventions are combined with comprehensive long-term approaches that involve families, schools, healthcare systems, and communities, of course. The focus is on reducing the distress, strengthening the support, and building coping skills, not just responding to the present crisis. That's very important. So what are those early and effective interventions? For any early intervention, early identification and screening becomes very crucial. Recognizing warning signs such as withdrawal, sudden mood changes, or declining school performance could be warning signals. And then mental health screening in schools and primary care, it should be a mandatory and a regular process in schools. Taking emotional distress seriously, even when it seems mild, we can call it as an aversion towards a rather avertive method before the accident happens. So we need not to wait for the adolescent to show these symptoms. Instead, if we have a regular early identification program in the schools, many of the problems can be addressed very early. And then open communication and support is very important. Encouraging adolescents to talk about feeling without fear of judgment. Even the teachers in the regular class hours, they can keep 5 to 6 minutes to talk about their emotions, how to express it openly. That can be done. Actively listening by parents, teachers, and caregivers. This communication has to happen with parents and caregivers as well, because they will have lot of data, and then screening assessment will be very accurate, and then validating emotions rather than dismissing them. Sometimes we feel like their emotions are too much, and then sometimes we dismiss, we discount. That should not be done. And then access to mental health care is very important. Early referral to school counselors, as I told before, and then to psychologists if it is required, or mental health professionals. Most of the common normal problems can be handled by school counselors. If they really feel like they need little more attention, or psychotherapy is required, treatments are required, then they can refer them to professionals. And then evidence-based therapies like CBT, cognitive behavior therapies, that help adolescents to manage emotions and stress. And treatment sometimes will be very useful for underlying conditions. Because of depression and anxiety, maybe the adolescent is going through a suicidality phase. Even treating the depression and anxiety will bring lot of changes in the adolescent. And then the very important thing is crisis response and safety planning. Clear plans for what to do when an adolescent feels overwhelmed becomes very crucial. Identifying trusted adults and safe spaces for them, and reducing exposure to unsafe environments when they are at distress. It should be handled by highly responsible adults. And then when we come to the comprehensive and long-term approaches, normally we depend more on family-based approaches, because the child comes to school and then goes to the family back. So strengthening the family communication and relationships becomes very crucial. And then parenting support and education, many a times, as I told you earlier, parents ignore. They think that this is because of the age, this is a behavioral problem. No, 9 out of 10 times, the adolescents might be trying to express their distress, but lack of awareness in parents might create disasters. And addressing family conflicts, if at all they're there, and stress in a healthy way is also very important. Building coping skill and life skills. So giving them continuous training basis programs, teaching problem solving and stress management skills will also help the adolescent, and encouraging them to have a healthy routines. As we all know, sleep is disturbed a lot because of gadget use nowadays. Adolescents are not interested in physical activity. They don't follow a balanced schedule. So these all factors should be encouraged and motivated in them, and they should also be helped to develop a sense of purpose and self-worth. And then, if at all needed, peer and social support should be taken, encouraging positive peer connections. We can even have peer counseling programs, mentorship programs, so that if they have their ideal school boy or school leaders, they can always be communicated. And reducing socialization, which is very important. And most importantly, we will have to reduce the stigma around mental health. Normalizing help-seeking behavior. The adolescent should be able to understand, all of us will get into problem. We get fever, we go to a doctor, we take medication, we take treatment, we don't mind. The same way, when there is a crisis as far as mental health is concerned, it is very normal to go to a counselor or a psychologist, take help. Challenging the myths that asking for help is a weakness, we must challenge it. And we must promote conversations about mental health in schools and communities very regularly. That is very important. And then, in summary, again, if we could say, adolescent suicide prevention is most effective when it is early, Again, I want to underline it. When it is supportive, when it is coordinated, when it is ongoing, we can avoid many such mishaps. Most adolescents experiencing suicidality are not seeking death. I want to stress this point again and again. But every now and then, when we happen to see a news in a newspaper, on a TV channel about an adolescent's suicidal death, we really feel very bad, because those adolescents are not getting this early support from the family, from the school, and from the society. They are only seeking relief from pain, and with the right support, recovery is very much possible.
Yes, ma'am. So, yes, dear viewers, be grateful for every second of every day, because that you get to spend with the people you love, and the life is precious. And in today's Sahyog session, we are discussing this important topic, really useful for all the viewers and students, and especially for adolescents, understanding suicidability in adolescence and early intervention strategies. Thank you so much, Professor Kalpana Venugopal from RIE NCERT Mysuru, to give a light on this important topic. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And आपका भी धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे डॉक्टर भारती कुलशेखरा, जो कि प्रैक्टिसिंग काउंसलर हैं और हमारे साथ इस विषय को आपने बताया. मैम, थैंक यू सो मच. टाइम टू रैप अप टुडेज योग सेशन. एंड अगर आपको यहाँ पर बता दें कि अगर आप हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं इस सत्र को लेकर और आप किसी विषय पर कोई हेल्प चाहते हैं, तो आप मनोदर्पण काउंसलर से मदद के लिए बात कर सकते हैं, और ये नंबर और सभी जानकारी के साथ साथ आप अपनी स्क्रीन पर भी देख पा रहे हैं. आइए देखते हैं कल प्रसारित होने वाले सत्र. यहाँ पहला सत्र आप योग शक्ति का देखेंगे. 8 बजे का समय रहेगा. बात करेंगे हेल्पफुल योगिक प्रैक्टिसेस इन स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट. 10 बजे क्लास 7 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए प्रस्तुत करेंगे डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन ऑफ सिमुलेशन टू स्टडी द मोड ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन इन ईस्ट. 11 बजे चैनल नंबर 6 से चैनल नंबर 12 तक आप देखेंगे क्लीन स्पोर्ट अवेयरनेस अंडरस्टैंडिंग रूल मेडिसिन एंड फेयर प्ले. इस पूरे सत्र को आप सभी PMA विद्या चैनल नंबर 6 से चैनल नंबर 12 तक देख सकते हैं. 12 बजे कल इंक्लूसिव क्लासरूम का सत्र भी खास होगा. चैनल नंबर 1 से चैनल नंबर 12 तक बात करेंगे इंक्लूसिव दुनिया स्टोरीज टॉपिक को लेकर. 2 बजे क्लास 3 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए प्रस्तुत करेंगे सब्जेक्ट द वर्ल्ड अराउंड अस टॉपिक मेकिंग थिंग्स पार्ट 1. 2:30 पर क्लास 3 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए हिंदी का विषय आप सभी के लिए प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा, अपना अपना काम. 3 बजे का समय रहेगा कक्षा 4 के बच्चों के लिए सब्जेक्ट द वर्ल्ड अराउंड अस का ही एक टॉपिक हैप्पी एंड हेल्दी लिविंग पार्ट 2 जानने का. 3:30 पर क्लास 4 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मैथमेटिक्स का सेशन आप सभी के लिए प्रेजेंट किया जाएगा, वी आर द ट्रैवलर्स पार्ट 2. 4 से 5 ऑनलाइन ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम आप सभी देख सकते हैं. पिक्टोरी AI टॉपिक पर बात करेंगे. 5 बजे कल के सहयोग सत्र में द वैल्यू ऑफ हैविंग अ ट्रस्टेड काउंसलर और मेंटर टू नेविगेट लाइफ ट्रांजिशन एंड पर्सनल ग्रोथ हमारा टॉपिक है. इस पूरे सत्र को हमारे साथ साइन लैंग्वेज में इंटरप्रेट करने के लिए मिस नीतू आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं. मैं सृजन राजपूत हूँ. अनुमति दें. नमस्कार.